All right, that's us. Pretty cool. Well, welcome to episode number 282. Wow.
What does this button
What
do?
does this button do? Yeah, it's an educational show about smartphones and technology with us geeks on tour. And today we're going to do 7 tips for a Zoom meeting participants.
Yeah, there's a lot to know about Zoom. So we are only talking about from the participant's point of view, not the host. And we have selected 7 tips, mostly about new things.
Okay, so I said that. Hi, I'm Jim, and here together with my wife Chris, we are Geeks on Tour. And do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? And do you have questions about your iPhone, your iPad, or your Androids? And how do you learn about these amazing devices?
Well, we are geeks, also
yeah.
known as propeller heads, but we are geeks who teach, and we think the best way to learn is on a regular basis. There's always something more, lifelong learning. So we came up with this YouTube show. We give it twice a month, and all of our topics are collected on our website, geeksontour.com. So do we have anybody to say hello to out there?
Yeah, let's see if we can...
We do have a group of people in an inside Zoom meeting. You'll meet them in just a few minutes.
Okay.
But we always like to say hello to those who are joining us.
Yeah, so we have a small Zoom meeting here, and we have Chloe and Jolyn and Michael and Martin and David, and then a couple of fake Chris's here. Well, they're not really fake, but one is a computer and one's an iPad, so we can show those things as we go along, but they're kind of hanging out in the background. And what do you want to say?
Just the people. I thought you were going to say hello to the
Oh,
people
okay.
in the chat.
Oh, okay. We can do that. Let's see. There's Andrew and
Andrew.
and Bill and Karen and Kathleen. Hey, Jolin's here from a couple other places.
We have some fake Jolins too.
Yeah, it's okay. That's one of the cool things. It's nice and warm in Mission, Texas, and yeah, it can be that way. Brentwood, California is a little bit cooler, I bet. And who else is over here? Arizona's 103. No thanks.
Well, thank you all for joining us.
Yeah.
We hope you learned something today, and a lot of you are members. We'll see you in the backstage pass after.
Yep. And that's all about what we're doing. Okay.
So the tip number 1, and I figured I needed to kind of get this out of the way. So in case something doesn't work that we're teaching you on your Zoom, it very likely is because your app is out of date. So how do you fix that? We have a pre-recorded segment on this. Is your Zoom app up to date? Let's say that you're in a Zoom meeting with a friend and your friend tells you to do something in Zoom and you say, that's not there or it doesn't work. There could be several reasons. You might be on a different device or your settings are different, but odds are your Zoom app is not up to date. It's now called Zoom Workplace, and the major new feature is AI Companion. You want to make sure your Zoom app is up to date. I'm Chris Gould with Geeks on Tour, and I'm going to show you how. First of all, I hear you saying that I don't use a Zoom app. I just click a link to join a meeting, like this. I guarantee it. If you click a link, you are still using the Zoom Workplace app. When you click Launch Meeting, it's looking for that Zoom Workplace app. And if you don't have it, it won't work. I click Launch Meeting, nothing happens. Don't have the Zoom Workplace app? Download now. And it's just a small app. It only takes a second. You do need to understand how to install apps on your computer. You click on the installed success and it installs your Zoom Workplace app. And now it opens the meeting from clicking the link. And you only have to do this once. You won't have to do it again. The app is now installed, and I just want to go show you that. We're not doing a meeting yet. So here is the Zoom Workplace app, but if that's not open, how do you find it? It's just an app like every other app on your computer, and you can search for it. This is a Windows computer. On a Mac, you would use the Spotlight search or Command Space, and here is the Zoom Workplace app. You do need to sign in with your Zoom account. Now, if you don't have an account, you can sign up. It's free, no problem. If you really want to use Zoom without an account, I'll show you how to get the app in a minute. So I sign in. I'm going to use a fake account, a test account that I have, and sign in. Once you're signed in, this is what Zoom Workplace looks like. And to check for updates, you click on the little account button. It'll have your photo or the initial of your name, and check for updates. This one is up to date, but if not, you would have a button to click to do the update. Now, what if you're on a mobile device like an iPad? You need to go to your App Store and search for Zoom, Zoom Workplace, and it might say update right there, but even if it doesn't, if you tap on it, it might say update there. Tap on update to get the most current Zoom app. Now, I told you I'd show you how to update the app even without an account. For that, you need to go to the web portal, the zoom.us website. That's where so many things about Zoom live, is on the web portal, in order to get the Zoom desktop app, which is what is used for joining meetings. So let's go to zoom.us. And here you don't have to be signed in order to use the resources and download the Zoom app. Get the one that's right for your machine, and notice that it has the version number here. So the most recent version is 6.16. If I download, that will now be on my computer, the most up-to-date Zoom app. And last, I want to show you, if you're in a meeting, how do you find out which version of the Zoom app you are using? So here we are in a Zoom meeting, and you just click the green shield up at the top right. It used to be over at the left, now it's at the right. The shield, and then the gear wheel for settings, and then statistics, and there you have your version. Have fun Zooming. Make sure you're on the most current app. I'm Chris Gould with Geeks on Tour. So I hope everybody did check, or will know now how to check on that green shield and see what version you're on. 6.1.6 is the most current. I do want to mention, however, notice the little inset over on the right on this slide. Don't have the Zoom Workplace installed. First choice that I did was download now, but there may be another choice depending on your system and your settings to join from your browser. Now put up Peggy K's. There are times when you can join a Zoom meeting without having the Zoom app, but we do not recommend it. Now, if you're on a Chromebook, as Peggy K here is saying, that's your only choice. But yeah, don't they have, anyway, that is the standard choice on a Chromebook, is to join with the web. And it is missing a lot of features with just the web version. So highly recommend using the app and make sure it's up to date. So now we want to hear from our Zoomers. We have these friends who have happily volunteered to be our Zoom meeting today, and I want them to say a few words, just, their name, where they're from, and how often they are in a Zoom meeting. Let's say how many times a week. Now, but while they're talking, I'm going to use this opportunity to show you a feature, a new feature. This is another tip called multi-speaker. So most of you already know, I'm sure, that under the View menu, you can choose Speaker View, where, you're just getting the main, and because of the way we're doing this, this looks weird. Or you get gallery view, but there is now a new one called multi-speaker. So I'm going to put my screen in on multi-speaker view and turn on this video. How's that? Nope. But since my audio is muted, it won't see that. All right, and I will ask Chloe, tell us a little bit, where are you joining us from, and how often do you use Zoom?
Unmute.
Yeah, we muted you, so you have to unmute now.
Figured it out. Okay, yes. I'm from Eastern North Carolina, and I use Zoom one time a week with Chris and Jim and Martin on a Friday morning meeting that we have called Martin's Maniacs. We learn a lot.
And really, that's it? You don't have any other?
I don't have, no, Jody and I used to, but I have a bed and breakfast here in Eastern North Carolina, extended stay. I forgot to say that. But yeah, you all are the only one I'm Zooming with right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think that's good. I don't have any corporate people telling me I have to.
Yeah, she, her bed and breakfast keeps her pretty busy. If you're ever in the North Carolina area, look up Big Mill Bed and Breakfast. Great place. And she has RV hookups, so we always stop over there on our way to and from.
And they always teach me something. When Martin swings through, he always teaches me something too, so it's wonderful.
Well, with that segue, let's ask Martin to tell us next. Where is he joining from, and how often does he use Zoom?
Hi, it's Martin Brossman. I'm joining from Raleigh, North Carolina, and watching that storm trying to creep towards us slowly. I use it several times a week, some often for quick meetings with people or clients or prospects, and then training on it through the statewide, through the community college small business centers, or just training in general with clients. So it's a go-to tool that I use a lot. And then I also am a kind of a novice on Ecamm Live. So that's where those little images, it's like an overlay. So that's not part of my standard Zoom that you see. And excited to be on this show.
Okay.
I'm gonna this multi-speaker view is not putting me up there because I'm coming through Jim's microphone. So that's, but notice that there are two speakers showing up on the top and everybody else is down at the bottom. Jalen, let's say hello.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Jolyn Bowler. I am Resource Center Director at the Hilton Head Island Computer Club and have volunteered there since 1991 when I joined. I learned about Zoom from Chris and Jim on March 15th, 2020. That summer, when we were closed down, we hosted at the club 13 episodes of Windows 10, which had just been, or Windows 11. I'm sorry. No, it was when, anyway, we did 13 episodes about Windows. And since then, I either give a Zoom presentation or I co-host and do the Zoom part of a hybrid presentation at the Computer Club on Mondays. I do Wednesdays. I have hosted a virtual jam session with a group of musicians that I play with regularly. So I've done that weekly since we got shut down in 2020. Friday nights, I am on Zoom with Michael Daniels and Michael's Tinkering with Tech show, the Friday night live game night, which is just too much fun. And we have a blast and we all pile into Zoom. And then he uses his marvelous, magical technical tools to get us all up on a live YouTube stream, and we just have a blast. And then I'm very often right here with Jim and Chris on, and actually a few others. I saw Peggy Kay in the audience. So Sundays I have fun with YouTube and Zooms and wonderful people. It is the most marvelous thing to have had this type of tool for everything that I do in my life, and it's just added to it.
Yeah, really. And another segue, she mentioned Michael Daniels.
Hey there, how's everybody doing? I am in Greenville, South Carolina, in the upstate of South Carolina, and I use Zoom every day. Sometimes 3 to 4 times a day, just depending with my real job, as well as because I found on mobile, we're in a construction business. On mobile is so great with recording and showing things, and plus I do all my mobile videos that I do a help videos on my YouTube channel. Mobile is fantastic for that because I can draw on screen. There's so much I can do. It's very versatile. So for me, Zoom I've been using since 2013, I want to say, a very long time, back before Zoom was what it is now. And I've been using it from day one. Not day one. I don't know that. I mean, I don't know when it started, but I've been using it a very long time, and I teach a lot on it too. I do the same thing you're doing today. So, yeah, I love to use it. It's very useful.
Yes, and do put, if you can, I'm not sure if you're allowed to, put your link to your community in the
Okay.
in the
I'm
chat.
adding it to YouTube. I'm adding it to YouTube right now.
Okay, there you go. And then we have our Toastmaster good friend where we learned Zoom the very first time back in 2017. David Carr.
Hey everybody, my name is David Carr. Chris mentioned the Toastmasters connection. Back in 2017, Jim and Chris were among the original charter members of Online Presenters Toastmasters. So if you're not familiar with Toastmasters, it's a public speaking professional development organization geared towards people getting up on stage and speaking in person, not speaking over Zoom. But at the time, we were just intrigued by the possibilities of the medium. I saw that Jim and Chris were doing very cool things with the YouTube Live environment, or they called it something different originally. Wasn't it Hangouts or something?
Hangouts on air.
Anyways, whatever it was, I learned a bit about that from them, introduced them to the Zoom environment. I was working as a writer and editor in the technology industry. I wrote a book about collaboration technologies for business, and I was intrigued by how things were going to change as it became possible to do spontaneous video meetings, to move from maybe doing text chat to all of a sudden you're in a Zoom meeting. And so the image over here is the webinar contest trophy. So we hold a webinar contest for the people who do the best job of conveying their information clearly, using the tech tools as an enhancement rather than a distraction from their presentation. So we have something for challenging people who think they do that well to stack themselves up against other people who do it well. We're doing one of those in September. And then post-pandemic, I also got involved in taking a Toastmasters club from, we were all online by necessity for a while. And then when we got back to in person, we wanted to preserve the option of having people attend online. And so we've been doing meetings that are both, what are called hybrid meetings or hybrid events. And that winds up being a whole different challenge. We were talking about it in terms of the audio feedback and other problems that you can run into, echoes. So you need to not necessarily become an audio engineer, but you need to learn a few basics so that you don't get yourself into trouble. Also, in my day job in the corporate world, I'm in Zoom fairly often. I'm in some good Zoom meetings. I'm in some pretty awful Zoom meetings where people don't know what they're doing. And the CEO is trying to talk and there's a dog barking in the background. Who knows where? Somewhere in the world, the dog is barking. And nobody has the controls to mute that line because they didn't think of that ahead of time. So there's all sorts of things that can go wonderfully online. There's definitely all sorts of things that can go wrong too.
Okay, and if you are interested in learning about any of these things, you can always contact us and we can put you in touch with them. Martin teaches an AI class. Michael teaches like a little bit more advanced stuff than we do. And, oh, okay, which camera am I looking at here?
That's
and,
right.
and David teaches about how to handle online and in-person hybrid meetings. And we're on Zoom multiple times a day, and I want to add that it's a great thing to do with friends and family. I have a good friend who moved away to Connecticut. We've scheduled a monthly Zoom meeting, and we just chat for an hour, and it really keeps us connected. So it's great. All right, let's see, what is my next tip? And so of 7 tips, number 1, update your Zoom app. We did that. Multi-speaker view, it didn't work so great because of the way we're doing this, but try it. You just click on that view and choose multi-speaker. And what it's really good for is if there are 2 people talking back and forth with each other, then they stay on the main stage and everybody else is like a gallery view. Change profile picture, that comes next. Then we're going to just talk a little bit about AI companion summaries, reactions and effects, multitasking during a meeting, and some new options for share screen. Multi-speaker view, we did show it to you. There are requirements. You need to have at least 5 people in the meeting before multi-speaker works. You can have up to 4 active speakers, and a speaker will stay focused a while after they stop talking, and that's all determined by the AI. It's actually listening in and saying, well, are they done, or do you think they have more to say? And yeah, it's interesting. Now, when your camera is off, what do you see? Do you see a photo of you? Like, let me go back to mine. Right now, my camera is on. If I turn my camera off, you see my photo. But some people, if they turn their camera off, they see just their name. And I want to explain that, and we have a pre-recorded video. Hi, this is Chris Gold with Geeks on Tour. If you use Zoom to have group meetings, maybe you've noticed that some people, when they turn off their camera, it just has their name, and some it has their photo. If yours only has your name and you'd like your photo, that's what I'm going to show you how to do. So here we are in a Zoom meeting, and notice that Alice is here, but it just has her name. If I turn off my camera, my video, stop video, you'll see a picture. When Mr. Bear turns off his video, you just see his name. So what's the difference? It's because I've logged in with my Zoom account and I have a profile photo set up in my Zoom account. So that's what Alice needs to do. She's going to leave this meeting and we're going to take care of that. And then she'll come back in and we'll see the difference. So she needs to go to zoom.us. And if you don't have an account at all, you click sign up, it's free. Give it your email and continue. They'll send a code to your email that you can continue and create a password. Now, Alice realizes that she does have an old account that she'd forgotten all about. She's looked up her username and password so she can sign in. She is now in her zoom.us account page, but notice there's no picture. You go to Profile, click where her picture should be, and choose a file. We have a photo of her. There we go. Isn't she cute? No wonder she wants her picture to show up. So now when she joins a meeting, she can have a picture. Let's see how that works. She's going to use an iPad to join the meeting, and there is the Zoom app that's been installed. Now, she usually just joins the meeting, but now that she knows, she's going to sign in and use her Zoom account, email address, and password. and sign in. Now she wants to join a meeting. She needs to have the meeting ID and join. Meeting passcode. Not every meeting has a passcode, but this one does. And not every meeting makes you stay in a waiting room first, but this one does. The host has let her in. Now Zoom has a couple more questions for her to connect to audio. Tap there. I want to see the whole gallery view, so I tap the screen and switch to gallery view. But now let's go look at our meeting from my point of view. And notice now that Alice has her photo rather than just her name. Sweet. Now that has been like that's nothing new, but that's just kind of setting the stage. A lot of people don't know that, but there is something new. I have had a lot of questions, and I have more than one account. I mean, our Geeks on Tour account is actually a paid account, so that's one that we're usually using, but I also have a personal, non-paid Chris Gould account, and sometimes I want the Geeks on Tour photo, and sometimes I want the Chris Gould photo. You can now change that while you're in a meeting, and so I want to show you that. You click the three dots on your square, and there's a lot more you can do now, but edit profile picture is what I want to show you. So I'm going to, you're looking at my screen now as if you're looking over my shoulder, and I have, when I turn on my video, oh, you're not seeing it in the main. Well, you do see it, right? You are seeing my video. It's just not up in the top because of our audio situation.
Because of the way you're showing it.
What?
Okay.
I could pin.
Yeah.
There we go. Now you're seeing me bigger. But if I turn off my video, I'm getting my photo. But let's say I'm joining a Zoom meeting of old high school friends, and I want to have a high school picture as my profile picture. I can click those three dots and edit profile picture, and then I can change the picture and get something from my computer. And I found this picture of my high school picture, and you can zoom in and out a little bit and save. So now if I am on a Zoom meeting with my high school friends, they'll recognize me.
You haven't changed a bit.
Yeah, okay. So that was, and you can always change your name. That's on that three dots as well. Now, the reason that I had the video about updating your app first, Martin, you want to mention what happened? I meet with Martin on Zoom every Friday, and I gave a little preview of this tip. And everybody in the meeting said, doesn't work for me, doesn't work for me. But you did get it to work, right, Martin?
Yeah, I did, but remember I had to leave and come back. And so it's important to note, if you're in a meeting, you don't pay attention, it may restart and kick you out of the meeting, and then came back and it was functional. So that's another tip. Just, when you find it in a meeting, you might want to wait till the meeting finishes to update.
But you did do an update and then it works, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
sure did.
So that is one of the new features. Okay. Next tip is about the Zoom AI companion. First of all, and this is the biggest thing about why it's now called Zoom Workplace. Well, there's so much stuff that Zoom Workplace can do that I don't even get into at all. But this AI companion is one of the biggest, and it's cool. It needs to be turned on, and only the host can turn it on at the beginning of the meeting. Or, since how many of you would forget to do that? You can go into your settings and meeting settings and make it so that AI turns on automatically. And that's what we have done here. Then participants can click the AI button to get a sidebar, and I'm going to show you that. And a meeting summary then will be emailed to you. And this blows me away. I've seen a couple of summaries now, and it does not sound like a computer wrote these summaries. It sounds like a person who understands what's going on wrote these summaries. Okay, so I go to my Zoom meeting, and you'll notice this little star that's blinking up here. That is telling me, oh yeah, can I zoom in on that? That is telling me that the AI companion is on. Then at the bottom of the participant screen, there is an AI companion button. When you click that, you can ask meeting questions, and it opens up a sidebar. And one of the things that it suggests is catch me up. So if I click on catch me up, it will write a summary of what's gone on in this meeting so far.
Eventually.
Yeah, well, it has quite a bit. The importance of updating your Zoom app, how to set and change your profile picture. The hosts have introduced their guest who shared their experiences. So see, it really is summarizing. It's not just a transcript. I think this is just amazing. And you could also ask, was my name mentioned? Now, usually, yes, Chris and Jim Gould's names were mentioned multiple times. Imagine that. So that is AI. And at the end of the meeting, it will automatically email the host or the host and all participants, depending on the settings. And we use this. If you're a member of Geeks on Tour, maybe you came to our overview meeting Zoom call this last week, and I have a sample then of the of the summary. So here is our July 30 members only meeting, and here is the summary that AI provided us. Chris highlighted the extensive resources on the Geeks on Tour website, including class materials, Zoom recordings, blah, blah, blah. He. Now here's something. I don't know where I tell Zoom my pronouns. It said, since my name is Chris, it says that I'm a he. Anyway, and look at this. It gives me my to-do list. Next step. Chris is to create a checklist for Google Photos similar to the smartphone skills checklist. Chris is to consider making the smartphone skills checklist, blah, blah, blah. Chris is to schedule a Zoom call with Kathleen. It's giving me my to-do list. So that is the Zoom AI companion. Way cool. Next tip, Zoom views and full screen. This turned into a default view with one of the updates, and it really messed me up. So I just want to show you briefly here. So if I notice the taskbar down at the bottom, this is my Windows. So I can go to anything else on my computer on this taskbar, but not if I am in full screen view. There is no taskbar. View and exit full screen, I have a taskbar. Okay, that's just the setup. Now we have a little pre-recorded piece. 8:43. So if you're on a Zoom call and you want to go to your Google Photos and get a photo link to share with the people in your Zoom call. What do? I see no way to get anywhere. Well, first of all, you might be on a full screen. So if you click up on view and exit full screen, now you have your taskbar down here. Now you can go to Google Photos. You can go to your web browser, your email, your Google Photos, whatever you want. Then to get back to Zoom, it's on your taskbar, this little blue button with Zoom. So there you go. Or the shortcut is Alt Tab. If I press Alt Tab, I'll see everything that's going on. I hold down my Alt and I keep pressing Tab to get to the different windows. There's Google Photos. I let go. Now I'm on Google Photos. Alt Tab, I'll just have to do it once to get back to Zoom. Alt Tab again to get to Google Photos. Alt Tab again to get to Zoom. Just remember, if you don't see this taskbar down at the bottom, it may be because you're in full screen mode. Click the button at the top for view and exit full screen, and you should get your taskbar back. So, just to recap that, full screen, it's kind of nice. It takes up your whole screen with your Zoom meeting, so you're not distracted with anything else. But if you need to go to something else, you need to know how to exit full screen so that those options are there. Another thing that full screen affects is when people are screen sharing. So, Jolin, did you see my my message of will you screen share? So I'm looking at my Zoom meeting screen right now, and I'm asking Jolin to do a screen share of anything.
Oh, okay.
Of anything,
okay, hold on.
But her website,
so
that you see. Well, I guess I can do it like that.
I have to stop the share.
I'm coming.
Thank you. Okay. So, and it will look different depending on whether... All right, so she is now sharing... Thank you, Jolin. Jolin is sharing her screen of Hilton Head Island Computer Club. Great place. Notice that all the people are up on the top. But if you are in full screen mode, the people could be covering up part of the screen. Now, you do have some options here. You can change it just to one person, or to a list, or to the gallery, or take it almost all the way off. But you say, well, wait a minute, I liked it when the people were up at the top. Well, that is if you exit full screen. Now the Zoom meeting Jolin's share is not taking up the full screen, and we have the people up at the top. Thank you, Jolin. You can stop sharing now.
You're welcome.
All right. Next tip, reactions. Oh, there's some fun new reactions. I don't know if you've ever used reactions before, but there is thumbs up and applause and a heart. But now there is effects with the... So I'm just going to go back to here, and I do have to have the camera up, open, so I can click on... Yeah, thank you, Martin. If you click on the heart for react and you click on send with effect, I love that. I think that is just so cool. And especially the little jets, the little rocket ships. I don't know what that's supposed to say. Just, hey, that's rocket stuff. Ooh, I haven't seen the roses, Jolin. Cool. All right. So that's reactions.
If you under react, if you click on the three dots along that
more.
top line, you get more.
Okay. Oh, devil. Martin, I see you have a hand up. Is that for real, or were you just demonstrating? Usually
It's
when
just
people put
playing.
their hand, yeah. Usually when people
You
put
need
their
to pay
hand up,
attention to what you're clicking on, don't you? Go ahead, lower hand.
but that's also another point. Raise hand used to be one of the reactions. Now it has its own. Now it has its own button. And raise hand, if you are in gallery view, will also put you up in the top left. So if you have multiple screens of people on Zoom, the raise hand will put them straight to the beginning. And then make sure to lower hand. And that single button down at the bottom has changed from raise hand to lower hand. Okay. So that is more reactions. Screen share with your face. This is something I just happened upon the other day because I was screen sharing and I said, ooh, what's that? What does this button do? You can now share your face right on the same screen with your shared screen without using the advanced PowerPoint as background. I mean, some of you who have really played around with Zoom know that there's the advanced PowerPoint as background that puts your face right on top. Now, the first time you do this, you might be asked to download a smart virtual background package, but it's just a single click and it happens real easy. Okay, so let me show you this. So I am going to share screen of some of my of the slides that I've been using for this show. So, but notice over here are the extra options. I can put my face, see how that has, and I can even size it, whatever you want, or I can do it like that. And if I now share, then yeah, you're seeing me in front of my shared screen, my slides or whatever it is I'm sharing. Okay, I thought that one was pretty fun. And is that we're almost done? I think we are. Those were our 7 tips. Let me go back, just review our 7 tips. Update your Zoom app, multi-speaker view, changing your profile picture while in a meeting, AI companion summaries, reactions and effects, multitasking during a meeting, and share screen, new options for video. And I'm done. I would love to, I just want to give our Zoomers one more chance. If you have if you have any final thoughts, who wants to go first? Martin.
I'll make it brief. Remember when you're on a Zoom that if you're not speaking, people are still seeing you. Because it's like, or something, or leaning back in the chair, being very unflattering. It's important to know it's like Hollywood Squares. They're still watching you, and you might want to pay attention to that. I did an interview with someone else, and when I was speaking and they weren't, they were highly distracted. So it's like something like this. So remember, everyone's seeing you in the view at the same time. So that will be my takeaway, or my added point.
I add that in every time when I'm the Sergeant at Arms at our Toastmasters. I say, we want to see you, but be aware the camera sees everything.
And he's forever telling me, stop scratching your face.
Right. Boom, hit her.
Oh, well.
Yeah, well.
Thanks, Martin. Jalen.
Just to add to that, I was hosting one of the things I did, I was hosting during the 2020 was I've hosted multiple participants, and throughout the day, and a woman got up and started changing her clothes. Thankfully, I saw it. She was muted. I couldn't, and I don't think and I tried to text her and she didn't, or chat with her, and she had no idea. And I finally was able to mute her camera. Thankfully, that was something I could do at the time. This is a couple of years back. But definitely pay attention. And I know I'm always scratching or doing something. So, I mean, I don't really care myself, but I don't change clothes on screen. No.
Or take your laptop to the bathroom, right? While you're on the meeting.
David.
So I mentioned something briefly about audio in a hybrid setting. And I'll just mention it because it comes up a lot in business. Two people walk into a conference room. They both open their laptops. Maybe they both have something to screen share at some point in the meeting. And they will get audio feedback or echo or some other related problem. And they think they know how to solve it. They know where the mute button is. So they'll click the mute button to mute their microphone, but the speaker is still going, feeding sound from two different sources back into. Anyway, the solution to this is that there should only be one active microphone, one active speaker in the meeting, or at least the simplest solution. There are fancier ways of getting multiple microphones to work in concert. But again, you're not an audio engineer. The people in a business meeting probably aren't audio engineers. There is a Zoom option that says leave audio. You click on the microphone, you look for leave audio, and that should solve the problem so that only one person is broadcasting sound.
Yeah, great point.
Sound is the biggest problem, the biggest issue with online meetings. So yeah, there's a lot to learn, but it can be handled if you do it right and listen to the experts like David and like Jim. I think he's done pretty good here.
Sometimes.
How about Michael? You have some final thoughts?
Well, my final thought in everything that I do is if you have an issue or you have a suggestion, give feedback. There's at the top of your Zoom splash screen, you have a question mark that you can click on that and you can give feedback or report a problem. Also, you can click on your icon that you have if you are signed in, like you said earlier. If you're signed in, you can go there under help. And that's one of the biggest things anybody that knows me, anybody that watches my show or is part or any community member, feedback is the biggest thing because feedback works in numbers. When a lot of people say things, you know what I'm saying, they start to get looked at. It's a squeaky wheel kind of thing. So for me, always do that whenever you can. Whether you had an issue and it was solved, tell them about it. They still have to know that. And we don't do that enough. Everyone should, it's working now, I'm not worried about it. No, send the feedback. I think that's extremely important in everything you do. One thing I love, and we said this earlier, I'm a product expert in Google products. Every Google product has a solution and a way to leave feedback, which I love that about them. I think that's amazing that they have that on anything that you use. So that's just my added thing. I don't really have any feedback. I've been using Zoom, like I said, since 2013. So for me, I use this on a daily basis. But thank you so much for doing this. I love this. I think more people need to know that. And a couple of you've already mentioned, sound is more important than any video. Always sound is more important. If your video is not working, make sure your sound is. So a good microphone and a good way of communicating is the best thing. It's the best way to get your message across.
Okay.
Cool.
Excellent point, Dave. Michael?
And wasn't there one more? Oh yeah, Chloe.
Chloe.
Where'd you go?
You'll need to unmute, Chloe. Lower left.
Or
There we go.
There
I
you
don't
go.
have anything brilliant to say, but
Well, bless your heart.
well, bless your heart. Yeah.
We just wanted to hear your southern accent, Chloe. That was it.
Okay. I see we have a couple of comments from the peanut gallery.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, Andrew says actually over 200 settings can be adjusted. You can do it almost anything you want. Yeah, right. Very granular. Yeah, the AI stuff is really, really pretty cool. But does it require a paid account? I think it does.
Yes, good point. Good point. The host must be a paid account in order to use AI Companion. Yes.
Okay, and you do need to be signed in, I believe, to take advantage of it. Yep. All right.
Steve Parker says, press the Windows key and your taskbar will show. Well, I just went and tried that. The taskbar doesn't show, but the whole Windows, choices does show. Even though I'm in full screen, I see no taskbar. I press my Windows key and I get all those. Oh, and there's the taskbar. Yeah, okay. I just didn't see it. Nice. That's a great tip, Steve. Thank you. Okay.
All right. Let's see. Hi, everyone. When I click the heart, there's a pink tint. What?
A pink tint that covers the screen. Any color will have a slight tint that covers the screen. I think, I don't know about clicking the heart, but I wonder if what you're talking about. Notice how my background is all red? And I did that very intentionally just to make this screen be noticeable. But how did I do that? It's under View and change theme. So classic theme means I just have a black background like everybody else. But View and change theme and bloom gives me a dark blue, so etc. You can just change the background. It's not a huge deal, but if you want to just make sure that your screen stands out, then that's something you can do. Okay, anybody else?
Oh, let's see. Hi, Eileen.
No, she says it's on the moving reaction, so she gets a pink tint. Okay, well, I didn't notice that, but...
All right.
And...
Yeah, how about that? Is there a way to synchronize or update the YouTube and Zoom feeds on different devices? LE smartphone, TV feed, second monitor. I think you have to do it all. I don't think there's a way to do it all at once. You have to do them individually. Just a thought. Just not sure. Andrews suggests that Kathleen's issue might be caused by too much or not enough video RAM. Yeah, a lot of these things have to do with individual computers and the power that they have and how good it is. So
I see that Martin has his hand up again. You still playing, or is that...
No, I just wanted to add one more thing because we talked about audio. Make sure if you don't have a quiet room, you get the right microphone. And Chris and Jim, you have on your website some people often get a high quality mic designed for a studio, and then it picks up everything in the house versus one that's more designed for your location. So, Chris, I know your website has a bunch of resources on it. That's just an important piece to note. Getting the right microphone for your environment you have. I'm in a studio. Chloe's in a room next to her kitchen. My microphone may not be optimized for hers because it might be too sensitive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good point. Good point. Okay.
let's see. Mike Saunders, first time here. Well, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Peggy uses a Bluetooth headset with a microphone. Be sure to mute your microphone. You tend to make a pit stop during a meeting. I think we talked about that a little bit earlier. Everybody hears you flush. It sounds like Archie Bunker back there. Okay. All right. Sending feedback is one of the best tips from Michael. Absolutely. A lot of people don't know about that. What's it? There's only 8 people. Come on.
Oh, well,
now.
thank you, Richard.
All
Super
right.
chat.
Absolutely. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
We appreciate you. And you can put in a super chat. One of the first things I learned in Zoom, Alt-A, to mute or unmute quickly. And the space bar, if your focus is on the right screen, your space bar will mute or unmute you if you're muted. And that's kind of handy.
Melinda, oh my goodness. This is one who, when I have a Zoom call with her, she lives in Nevada. She goes outside and has one of her animals in the Zoom call too. An alpaca, a llama, or a goat. Hi, Melinda.
Okay, on the subject David Carr mentioned, one way if you're in a meeting room together, just re-sign in and not add computer around one of the devices. That'll stop the echo, right? We talk about, you can't have multiple speakers, sound sources and microphones in a meeting. Otherwise, they have a conference microphone that comes in real handy, and they have multiple microphones built into it in an array, and you can put that in the middle and use that as your microphone and speaker. And several people have them. I have one when we were doing hybrid meetings, so they come in real handy.
Okay, I think we got to finish up here because I do have review questions as normal.
Okay. I thank our premium members. You make our work possible. GeeksOnTour.com. Join now. You can become a Geeks on Tour supporter for $68 for 1 year, $58 annually. That would be great if you would do that.
And
yeah. We have a backstage pass. That's one of the benefits of being a premium Geeks on Tour member. It's a Zoom meeting right after this meeting, so I'll close that meeting and we'll start a new Zoom meeting over here. But you get the link to join. It's on our website, geeksontour.com, on the member login page. But Chris also sends out an email in the morning. Check your spam in case, because I've sometimes find that our emails are misdiagnosed.
And for our Zoomers, who maybe don't normally get the email, I'll send out the email. We would love to have you in the backstage pass. Anybody who can.
And she'll do that for you. Other questions? Let's see. So Michael comes in on a phone every now and again. Phones make great devices.
Now I have found when you're joining a call on a mobile device, if it's a second device, before you click join, scroll down, and then there is a place to say join without audio. That solves that issue.
Okay, Peggy says there are a lot of good tips there. A lot of people have Zoom set to automatically join audio, but you may find it's better to turn that off. Absolutely. To avoid misfires. Too true. We have a newsletter. It's free. It's geeksontour.com/news. You can scan that QR code and sign up for our free newsletters, and then you get information.
It just went out last night, so if you think you're signed up for newsletters and didn't get it, contact us.
Please. Okay, like us, subscribe on YouTube, click the bell to make sure that you're notified when we go live or when we post things.
We already talked about this.
We did that? Well, did you learn something? I always learn something. True or false, you need the Zoom app to join the meeting on your computer or a mobile device.
Yes. Except in some situations there you can join just on web without the app, but we don't recommend it.
Okay. To have a profile picture, you must have a Zoom A, account, B, subscription, or C, email address.
Account. It can be a free account. You don't have to have paid in order to have a profile picture.
Okay. When you see 2 or 3 Zoom squares bigger than the rest, that's called A, custom view, B, multi-speaker, or C, default.
Multi-speaker.
True or false, if you now have your face on screen with your share by simply choosing a sharing option.
True. Pretty cool. However, we discovered that if you are streaming to YouTube, YouTube doesn't get that view. It gets the standard screen share and your little square picture up in the upper right-hand corner.
Okay, the Zoom AI companion will A, answer questions, B, email a summary, or C, both.
Both. And we have it set so that just we will get the summary of this meeting, and we will put that in the show notes for this web show, and that is be available for our members.
Okay. All right, there's a question here, how to make Google Photos small enough to be used as a profile.
Yeah, crop it. Crop it, find a picture that's small and crop it, but I don't know what the limitation is. There are also ways to resize an existing, not within Google Photos. You have to use another app.
Okay. So what's the web page that lists all of our YouTube shows, Chris?
geeksontour.com, and the menu item is YouTube shows.
And then the web page that lists all of our recent newsletters.
geeksontour.com, the menu item is blogs and news. You'll find newsletters under there.
And why do people pay $58 a year to join us, Geeks on Tour?
There's lots of member benefits, like our backstage pass, like our show notes, like our top tips. But some people even join just to say thank you for all that we do for free. And we thank you.
Absolutely. Become a member, geeksontour.com/join now. And that's pretty cool. That's about it for this week. What does this button do? I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
And we are Geeks on Tour.
And thank you to all our Zoomers today.
Thank you so much. It's been... Yay! We did good. All right.
Okay, so our Zoomers, I
think you dropped off.
Yeah, somebody dropped off.
Someone dropped off. Great to meet you all.